Hello, everyone. My name is Alonzo Smith. I'm currently enrolled at the Ohio Media School. To give a little bit about myself, I'm a father of 6. I'm a content creator, an artist, storyteller, promoter, visionary, philosopher. I wear many hats, right? Jack of all trades, if you will. But I didn't wait for anyone to give me any opportunities. Anything that I wanted to do, I went out and did it to the best of my abilities, to the best of what I knew, and I learned along the way. Taught me a lot of life lessons. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Some people see a room. I see possibility. So it all depends on your perspective of what you see. So everything starts with an idea and a belief. So if you have strong ideas, you have strong beliefs. Just add a camera, a microphone, a mixer, and you can produce some art. I think art is beautiful. I think it's one of the main things that we need in life. So any form of that, I'm down for it, gung ho, But I think that all it takes for me to get started is just an idea. That's it, and then I'm ready to go. But a little bit about myself. I was born in California. A little more about myself, I should say. I was born in California. I moved to Detroit, Michigan when I was 7 years old. I moved back and forth though from California to Detroit. So I want to say for about 8 years after that. So up until I was like 15 or 16, I was going to school too, back and forth from California to Detroit. I was flying before 9/11. It's very interesting. You would have to be there to understand how that went. Yeah, I was married for 12 years. Me and my wife had 3 children, and we separated when I was 31. I had 3 children after that too, but that's a longer story. But anyway, over time though, my vision, I grew. You experience things in life and then you move on. I'm sorry that I'm being so vague, but it's just some of the things that I've been through is too complex to fit into a 5-minute video. There's a lot that goes into living, obviously, and I can only tell you so much, But I learned how to capture these moments over time. Now, remembering things is not as simple as you may assume. We think we remember things and we don't quite remember them how they are. And the only reason I know that is because of the time. If I take pictures during this period of time or even a video and you go to recall it 10 years later, 15 years later, and it may not be, it's not always the same as you remember, that lets you know that these things kind of are essential in order to keep and to preserve what is actually true. In any event, not it's not life or death. It's just for your own life, for what you believe in, for what you see. That's why I believe that video, music, art, all of these things that capture moments are essential to life. And from the places that I've been, that's almost the standard. Every city has a group or a set of people or a group of people that they record, they they're just being creative, they're being themselves as they should. So I learned how to produce content. I was already grown though, like in my 20s. I'm learning how to do this while I work and take care of family. It was just something that I wanted to do, so I kept doing it. I got into media production. when I started recording, well, first it started off with promoting. One of my friends, in Detroit, there's a lot of nightclubs. I mean, not really, they're like, I don't want to, people call them hole in the walls. They're not really hole in the walls, just small clubs, and people, what the promoters do, or what he was doing at the time, was making sure they had, that they were full every night. You know what I'm saying? So one of the clubs we dealt with was the Bullfrog, which was on Telegraph, if you don't know, in Detroit. And it's like a small little building. I think the capacity was like maybe 750 people, something like that, which I still think that's too many people for that size building. But it's very interesting how we kept it full. And really what it started was we would keep it full by having open mics, because open mics always hit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Artists always want to perform. There's always going to be a group of people that want to make music and want to perform their music. So those shows did numbers every night. We had one for each club that we went to. Bullfrog, Toya Spot, Club Blue, all of these different clubs that we would have people go to and, do open mics all night. But also, once you get into that, you start to come across artists who they don't really have places. They're recording themselves, and it sounds like this or it sounds like that. You have all these issues. So I got into recording. I had money. I was able to afford the equipment, so it was easy work. But also, when you get into it, you learn that it's not just turning on. It's not just going into a studio or calling a computer a studio and just going in there recording. It requires some patience. It requires time. It requires know-how. And that led to a lot of other things too, because I had a computer, right? I bought a computer from Walmart for $110. And I couldn't do much with that computer, especially trying to like edit videos and all. You couldn't do much. I had to learn how to upgrade it or buy a new computer. And I did both. So I know how to replace RAM. I know how to replace graphic cards. I know how to do all of these things. Messing with operating system, any system for that matter, just from that process. So just because your goals doesn't automatically seem like they're doing your life a big favor, just do it. The more you learn, you're going to see how those things actually contribute to, it's essentially character development. But I can ramble on. Like I said, 5 minutes isn't long enough. I can keep rambling on, but I appreciate your time, and I wish you all well, and be creative. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.